Hey y'all, I'm just coming with you today with some thoughts that I've been having. I'm pretty fired up on the inside, but I'm gonna try to say what I'm trying to say in a respectful and kind way, but I'm just gonna warn that there could be some profanity, so if you don't like that, just click right off. So I've been going through since December, November-ish of 2018, I've been going through this whole past life discovery experience. And in the midst of this, it's basically dredged up every one of the deepest sorrows that have been housed in my being for probably 300 years. I've recalled multiple lifetimes, so one as a Native American woman named Rides with the Wind, probably sometime in the 1700s is my guess, and one lifetime in the American Civil War as a woman named Sally Dandridge. And I think in this whole discovery process and dredging things up and trying to heal and working through all these things that have been all this sorrow and pain and loss that has been present throughout my lifetimes, I've sought help because I realized that I can't do it alone and probably shouldn't. It probably wouldn't be healthy for me to do it alone. But I think what I've come up against is that sometimes I have to protect myself more from the help than from what I'm going through. And I think that's kind of sad. I think that there are a lot of people in the spiritual community who are very well-meaning, but who have a hard time listening. Listening to a story without immediately assuming that they know the answer and their typical protocol and how they handle it. I think I would ask everybody who claims to be a healer or a reader or a helper, I would ask them to really evaluate whether or not they are doing it because they want to feel like they're in control and have the answers, or whether they're doing it to truly hear and witness the person in front of them and provide that person individually what they need. And I guess I say this because I've just gotten an energy a little bit lately where it feels like I'm being spoken down to because I'm in my 20s. That particularly women in the spiritual community who are middle-aged, they feel like they've been through some shit, and they probably have. But I think they need to acknowledge that they haven't been through the same shit that I have. And what I mean by that is I really do feel like the women in the spiritual community who are middle-aged right now, they paved the way for a pretty big wave of awakening, a pretty big wave of consciousness. You know, they've fought to be in their empowerment, and that's awesome. And I really honor that. But I think there's the next generation, the group of us that's under that, the ones of us that are in our teens and our 20s right now, we're just having a different experience. And what that means is we might not need the same solution or the same tools or the same answers that you would have needed when you were 20. And this isn't a judgment this isn't me saying like, we're superior, we've learned more, we're further along. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you can't give us the cookie cutter response that you give everyone else. And I think the thing I'm realizing is that, you know, as I try to process and integrate my own experience, I'm feeling misunderstood and not fully heard a lot of the times when I seek help. And I think I'm putting this out there just a little bit as a check yourself before you wreck yourself. Like, it can be really damaging what you say to somebody when they're already in a space of grief and pain. So you have to be gentle and kind. And I guess I've just been shocked and surprised by multiple people who claim to be healers not being kind. So when I go into session with a person, my understanding is that they are the person in pain or seeking guidance for some reason. And so it's my job to be the person who is grounded and who's able to hear whatever they bring to the table and put my stuff aside. And yeah, I mean, I have literally had to have, I'm pretty sure what happened in this most recent thing I experienced, like John, one of my guides, he literally had to set off cannon fire within my aura to protect me from what she was about to say. He literally had to smoke out whatever message she was trying to bring through. And then, of course, I'm being told I'm the one who's toxic, right? I'm the one who, come back to me when you're ready to hear what I have to say. Which, isn't necessarily wrong. But yeah, I hope what I'm saying is making sense. It's just, I guess there's a lot of things that me and my friend Nikki talk about grounded spirituality, about embodied spirituality. And I just feel like a lot of people will say words that sound like the right thing, but they're just spitting back things that they have heard. They're not really listening or tuning in and hearing trying to tune into what that person needs right now. Because, sometimes the truth is truth, and sometimes the thing is, good advice is it's only good advice if it works in the context of the person you're talking to, right? So saying, maybe to say it's healthier to eat whole wheat bread. That's good advice. Eat whole wheat bread, it's better for you, is good advice. But what if I'm allergic to gluten? Then it's terrible advice. Eat whole wheat bread is terrible advice if I'm allergic to that. So I guess it's that we don't need cookie cutter advice. And in fact, it makes no sense logically to give anybody cookie cutter advice, because everybody's situation is so different and has a different context. So to pretend like you have the answer and somehow you know better than I do is kind of silly. And okay, then it comes to, well, why are you going to someone else for advice if you know the answer? Well, I guess what it is I haven't known the answer, and I'm seeking to hear something that might be able to help me as I'm in severe pain every day of my life. And I am in tune with my intuition and my inner knowing. So I listen to other people because sometimes there are nuggets of things that I need to hear that they have to say. So I guess it's that I'm humble enough to think I don't have all the answers, but I'm empowered enough to realize that when you're saying something that sounds like bullshit to me, I'm not gonna listen to it. And I guess that maybe that means that I'm doing what I need to do, but another thing that really came up was I feel that I'm surprised by how little people who are healers are actually able to hold space for other people's grief. And, yeah, okay, you're telling me that after talking to me, you're going to need to go, meditate for 30 minutes because my energy is so chaotic. Well, how do you think I feel? I'm coming to you because I'm housing this grief that's so large that I need help managing that. So, wow, to hear now multiple times, and from healers and also from friends, that they can't hold space for what I'm going through. Well, now you understand what I'm struggling with, don't you? And I think what it really is, like, I've gotten to the point, you know, and I don't get angry very often, but once I'm there, like, I'm there. And I've been purging and housing and working through the sorrow of 3 women across 3 lifetimes, all at the same time. So in a span of a year, I've relived every sorrow I've ever felt, basically. Severe war trauma, illness, loved ones dying. Like, if I can house the sorrow of 3 women, I guess I'm finding that I also house the anger of 3 women and maybe it is this template that's coming up for me to work through and heal on behalf of myself and the selves I used to be, and also forward across timelines. But I don't think that our anger was heard. You know, our anger, across a lot of history, women have not had the space to vent their anger, to be, you know, I'm not even finding the right words for it. It's like, and it's not anger at a particular person or a particular, I guess, thing. It's more anger existentially, like anger that this would be allowed by anybody, that certain things would be allowed, permitted, like war, and over and over and over again, you know, like, what are we doing? And so, you know, whenever you bring up past lives to people, the first thing they want to have you do, well, you know, why are you living there? You need to live here. You need to be here in the now. You need to be here in the now. All that sorrow is back in the past. Why are you bringing it into your now? Well, it actually is in my now. If when I go to sleep, I get a PTSD trigger response from it. It actually is in my now if when I meditate, I see these scenes of horror. It is here in my now if one of the people that I lost and loved is here incarnated with me now. So there's something to be worked through now if I'm being shown this. So it's not me living in the past and feeling sorry for myself. It's me trying to integrate in my present so that I can move forward. And this seems to be the thing that no one can answer for me, or no one has been particularly helpful with. And I guess that's where my frustration is. And I don't know about how other people work through past lives. It seems to me that people are pretty flippant about it, or they're, oh yeah, like I had a past life with so-and-so and blah, blah, blah. For me, it's been a very, I'm sorry about the wind if that's too loud, but for me, it's been a very visceral response, like, reliving all this has been a very visceral experience for me. It's not something I can say, oh, that happened in the past and I'm over it now. Like, and perhaps there's a reason on the other side of this that I'm going through my particular journey in order to bring a different kind of healing to the world. But yeah, like, I guess I share because I feel like no one else is saying these things. And I'm kind of tired of people thinking I'm cute because I'm in my 20s. Oh, you're so light and fluffy and airy and you're just, oh, you're so cute. You're just starting out. And the 300-year-old, you know, divine feminine within me wants to scream like a banshee in that person's face because, like, don't cheapen my experience. Oh, you'll figure it out. You know, like, you just need a shift in perspective. Look, and that's probably right. Like, that's probably true. I do need a shift in perspective, but I've been getting a lot of mixed messages. You know, people want to say, like, you need to allow yourself to be where you are, allow yourself to feel your feelings, allow yourself to grieve. And then in the next second, they're telling you all the reasons why you should be elsewhere, or how you need to shift, or how you need to change, how you need to look at it differently. Well, if I haven't processed yet where I am, I can't move forward. So help me be where I am and allow me to be without judgment. And I guess it's just like, this is just me wanting to say to other people who are looking for guidance and looking for help, is when you get that help, make sure you're also checking in with your inner compass and deciding if that help sounds right for you. Because I actually found, like, when I didn't listen to the things that registered as bullshit for me, I made choices that felt like they were in alignment. So, you know, especially, and this is with past life stuff, this is also with twin flame stuff, you have to, sacred soul connections, you need to listen to what you feel about it. You really do. And sometimes what you need to do looks like not the right thing or the healthy thing to do from other viewpoints. But you really have to trust, because I had one of these people basically try to convince me that the person that I've loved across every lifetime is a covert narcissist, and I'm a codependent, and he never cared about me, and he mistreated me the entire time, and he was manipulating me. Which for half a second I considered might be the truth. And it did not sit well with me. And the truth of things is that a lot of times when it seems like I'm not receiving the comfort or the help that I need from the outside sources, that connection has been a source of kindness and comfort and support. And it doesn't look from the outside conventional, or like maybe people think it should look. But I don't think I could get through any of this if I didn't have that connection present in my life. And so, yeah, I guess this is just a little rant to say, trust yourself. Be careful of people who claim to be further on the path than you are. Like, yeah, you really have to trust your own voice, but I think sometimes it's very hard when you are in the depths of grief and suffering and pain. You're in a place of intensity and vulnerability and sensitivity. And so it is sometimes hard to hear your own voice, or it's you reach out for comfort, and honestly, you should be able to. You need that. We need support. Just make sure everything that you hear goes through the filter of, does this feel right and true for me in this moment, in my context, with my experience? Because you're the only person who can feel what you feel. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave you with that, but I'm wishing you all a wonderful day. You're not alone. You're so loved, and see you next time.